Yeah, man.
All right, we in this thing, ain't we?
I think I fuck with Sada Bay because like he just seems like a regular ass nigga. Like he doesn't.
Right.
It's not. You know what I mean?
A regular, just gritty nigga.
I feel like he's one of those artists where people pretend not to fuck with just because of the TikTok shit, but it's like he makes dope music.
Right. Sada makes good music, bro. He's a consistent artist because it's like, it's not like Cudi just been, just popped up, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere and started making music or with some industry plant. Like Cudi, like, you know what I'm saying, actually, has a longevity in the game. That's why I fuck with him. And it's good songs. Like it's that straight hood rich. It's just that this real hood rich, straight Detroit sound, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Straight gutter. Beard in the winter looking.
All right, let me do the intro.
Go ahead, family.
All right, welcome to BarOne. Take some quick time to shout out ZenDen Sessions. That is ZenDen Sessions. It is a Brooklyn-based, COVID-safe concert series and platform for independent artists and creators. Not only does ZenDen Sessions provide a performance outlet for artists during these tumultuous times, they also host a number of online initiatives designed for empowerment, connections, and wellness. These include cash prize song competitions, artist interviews, online listening parties, numerology readings, wellness clinics, and interviews with music industry professionals designed to give the independent musician more tools to pave their own careers. Check out the link in the description to connect with ZenDen Sessions on Instagram and Clubhouse, and turn those notifications on to stay up to date on online events and small private outdoor live shows. We also want to take time to shout out Success Sheets. Success Sheets is a product by Anthony Braun's Strategy Plus program. This 8-week accountability planner will help you stay focused, build effective habits, increase productivity, and help you win the day, folks. There are organizational charts and tools in here that will help you track your habits and build effective timelines. We all know it's easy to say you'll do something, but unless you commit to planning out your goals and stay committed, they rarely come to fruition. Strategy Plus Success Sheets is a great tool for you and your friends. Anthony Braun is a good friend of mine. He's a veteran with years of experience coaching companies, athletes, and military personnel on productivity and building good habits. Check out the link in the description and pick up your Success Sheets today.
Hey.
That was my professional shit.
All right. That man put that voice on. Oh, yes, sir.
Whoa.
Nah, not even that. My man, you had that teleprompter going. My man, it didn't even say he sounded like all like that. My man just came through reading correctly. I was like, oh, Tim was that student in class that just like read good. You knew I had a fucking dysfunction when I started reading. I was over there.
That shit is, that's anxiety though, reading in class.
Bro, for me, it's just like, I don't know. It was like when I first started reading music, it was like interpreting, like sounding out the word, but trying to read that shit at the same time. Cause you know what I'm saying? It's like when you're reading, it's like playing music. That shit ain't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? And like when you reading, it's just like, you're like, all right, we just missed that bar. We're gonna keep going.
No, but it's like music because it's almost like if you stop, people treat you with less respect than if you just fuck up and move on. You know what I'm saying? Like you just roll with it rather than you're like you stop. Just if you pronounce it wrong, just go with that. That's how the word is pronounced. You know
I feel you, bro. I know for me with I don't know, yeah, with the whole real music thing, I just be like, I feel like in college and when I was I was self-taught, but like when I started doing lessons and stuff like that, like that's when they were first like, no, man, you can't stop, bro. You gotta keep it going. I was like, all right. Because I mean, shit, that should be a fault when you're in the practice room sometimes too, if you just keep stopping versus keeping going, because you're gonna be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's true shit, man. Especially with practicing too, like stopping. I think it's important when you practice to have a routine, and sometimes I think it is important to stop. But like what I mean by that is like you have, like for me when I practice, I like to have 10 minutes of bullshit time where I just play whatever I want to, and I just get it all out of my system. Right. And then maybe like 20 minutes, I practice what I'm actually supposed to practice, and then I take a break and maybe do 5 minutes of bullshit. And then another 20 minutes, I practice what I'm supposed to, or like it's something else, you know what I mean? Rather than it just being like structural. But that's me. I don't know.
Bro, I know for me, I'm like, shit. When I practice, I try to start out with like some, I click on my metronome and like, and I mean, because I play drums and shit. I started just like warming up my hands, like, starting rudiments and then working my way around the toms and stuff like that, man. And then after about like 5 minutes or like 10 minutes doing that, like, then I'll start trying to like play in a groove to the metronome, you know what I'm saying? And then like maybe seeing how I can spaz out to the metronome a little bit. And then, from that point on, I might do some other weird stuff. Like I might drop the metronome all the way like 45 or 50, like on some Andy Parada shit. Like, you know what I mean? Sit there and like, all right, how many ways can I subdivide this? Or how many ways can I sit here and like, what subdivision am I gonna come at? This what do I hear? You know what I mean? Because that's what happens if you put it at that. Because you can play it at so many different things.
You ever do the thing where you turn the metronome off and then turn it back on 10 seconds later to see if you're still in time?
Man, yeah, I used to do that shit more so back in college, but not nowadays. Like nowadays, bro, it's just like I'm in that motherfucker actually really like, just trying to shit. Because I feel like, man, you want to practice with the metronome to have like an accountability and a good sense of time, but with the start and stop stuff, I mean, you want to have some dirt on your playing too, because that's what makes Carter Buford,
right?
And I feel like every drummer out here that got a real check got some dirt on their playing. Like Steve Gadd don't sound clean.
That is a good topic, because you need to graduate in the way that you think about music, especially as an instrumentalist. It's not about, you have to be good at your instrument, but you also have to think about it as music too. And I feel like there's a way, like, people are super academic with their shit, like, which is good because you need that discipline, but you also need to elevate in a way to where you're thinking about, okay, what is my sound? How do I play? And how do I contribute to a track? And not necessarily trying to sound like a robot. So yeah, I think that's important. Like, not just limiting to yourself to a metronome, right? But also playing the music too, because there's a lot of people back at school, they just play the metronomes all day, but they never play the music. It's like, how are you gonna learn?
Yeah, that's another thing about, like, when I went to Berkeley and shit like that. Like, one of the realest fucking things that, like, my OG Sean Claiborne, shout out, it's my dog. One of the realest things that the OG taught me when I was a kid was like, he taught me how to be musical, bro. He taught me about like making musical choices and shit like that and playing, and like, I got clowned, I got, crowned. I had many moments. That's what musical shit is. You know what I mean? You get clowned and you get crowned. Right. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right. But when I went to Berkeley, when I was about to go to Berkeley and shit, like, my bro was like, don't go for performance. Like, why the fuck would you? Because you already know how to play. Now, when you get out there, it's learning about things that you don't know about, like business and like how to market yourself and shit like that. Because the playing shit is going to come from experience. You know what I mean? Like, when you over here playing these shows and shit like that, that's where all that shit matters. And it's like you said, bro, you can sit there and play to a metronome all day, but it's like, cause you're supposed to have been doing that shit when you was a kid. You know what I mean? Because if you at this school and you trying to do this shit for real, it's like, you know what I mean, man, you should have been out over here like, playing with people and then forming a natural sense of time and then being like, all right, had somebody that roasted you, like, oh, you need to work with a metronome. You know what I'm saying?
That's important. You can't, I feel like people play in their comfort zone. Like, they never branch out. Because if you've ever been roasted before, it is humiliating, but if you're mature about it, you grow from it. Like, I remember,
and then you get crowned.
Yeah, even in high school, like, being roasted, like, yo, bro, you're playing too loud. Like, why are you playing like that? You gotta play to the music. Even in college, like, and taking lessons, bro. When you think you can play some cool shit, and they're like, bro,
right,
no,
straight independence, straight Neil Smith on your black.
Yo, it was Casey Sherrill, man. He was the guy. I don't know if you ever took him, but shout out to Casey Sherrill, and his son too is dope, Cooper.
Hey.
But Casey, man, he was on another level with the jazz shit. And then my last year, I had James Murphy, who was
that's the OG, that's the homie.
That's the homie, and he, like, because he's young enough to where he could.
Right. That man's what they call hip.
Yeah. Even with the little hat that he'd be wearing,
right? Jazz cap.
But yeah, I would hear like cats who took him Plainfield, and he would destroy you, bro. I was scared to take him.
Look. Let me tell y'all some shit, man, about life, bro. You get clowned and you get crowned, all right? Granted, Kim never crowned me at all. Kim will probably never, he's probably in heaven, still probably roast me for not practicing. But, RIP to a real one, because this dude's GOAT. He's really GOAT. But, like, I remember, man, going to a proficiency exam. That's the final, joint where you have to go read your music. I had Jackie Santos at the time, and that's like that's my dog. But he was so chill and like knew I was gonna do decent like off my natural sound and shit like that. But he didn't even focus on much of me, like for real. It was all just like getting my mental together with him. And I remember not being prepared for this fucking proficiency, bro, and going in there and. Oh man, and if all my Berkeley heads, if y'all know Neil Smith too, man, you already know what he's gonna do to if you don't, what I'm saying, know your shit. Like we started a statement talking about Kim, but what I'm saying, that dude's a whole nother, what I mean? You digs. So I remember going into that proficiency, bro, and bombing on everything except playing the fucking song. Everything except playing the song. Reading, and I mean, fuck, I'm reading Mr. Straight. That's what I'm saying. You did that shit in marching band. Right. But like, man, all the other X's and O's I fucked up, and it was just like, bro, I just remember the way that dude roasted me. That dude roasted me so hard, bro, that I took that L. But guess who the fuck I took that next semester too? You feel me? Okay. Because I was like, I'm not gonna go down like that, bro. Obviously, if this man's roasting me, this man obviously sees a better version of myself in there, so I should try to fuck with that. It's like, man, you can fuck with people that like, and granted, there's nothing wrong with fucking people that like see your potential, that just not gonna sit there and tell you and force you and like whatever. But there's also cool teachers out there that like got good shit, to say in a cool way. But like, ain't nothing wrong with having a hard ass, man, because some people bring the best shit out of you. Like one thing about a hard ass, and I know I'm talking a lot. One thing about a hard ass though, man, and this goes for parents. This is life talk right here. So this is everything. One thing about a hard ass is when they roast your ass. They roast you, and when you get roasted, bro, it sits with you to where it always becomes a memory because you fucked up.
Yep.
And that's what makes you change. And granted, those moments in your life are traumatizing, but it's the beauty because look at what that shit made you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you should get roasted there rather than a gig where somebody's
rather than roasted on the Grammys and never get the call again.
Right. Right.
Because that happens. Yeah. I promise you.
Yeah. Because that would be because not only is it traumatizing, now you can't eat.
Man, that's worse than pulling up at the jam and can't play. And like, you know what I mean? Like, the audition, man, and you get, man, what? And
I think that translates to not only like instrumentalists, but also recording artists as well. Because we put so much passion in our artistry and our creativity, right, that we get sensitive about our shit. But if you spend hours making a track and somebody tells you, yo, that shit was whack, not saying that everybody's opinion is valuable, but that doesn't mean it's invaluable or that way you shouldn't look at it, right? So I think it's about learning, because if it's like technical shit, like, yo, I can't understand what you're saying on that song, like, or if it's like, what are you rapping about? Like, what are you talking about? Or why are you? I know you're not rapping off beat on purpose. Like you're doing it because you. But we had talked about like people who do rap off beat on purpose, and that shit is fire.
That shit is fucking fire, man. What BK the Ruler? Shout out to her. She fucking monsters that, man. Cardi, what monsters that shit.
What did you think of that album?
Oh man, that whole lot of red. Listen, y'all. Listen, I'm a Cardi fan, so for me, it's not about trying to hear like the newest wave of like what this man is creating or like all that other stuff. For me, man, it's just about making some good music. Ain't nothing wrong with, like, imagine if Kanye made the same fucking music for 5 years. Do you think anybody's really gonna complain about that? Because what do motherfuckers say now? I miss the old Ye. Right. So the fact that my man's just like, and Ye produced most of that album. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the fact that my man put something together to give to the people, bro, it's like, accept that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got motherfuckers over here roasting it, trying to look at my man's for the next best thing. But it's like, cuz let him give you that. Because the chances are a lot of these artists, when they be, making a lot of these records and stuff, bro, they'll fucking make like fucking 40, especially these trap cats, like, let alone like a jazz or contemporary artist. Like, these motherfuckers will make like 40 to 100 tracks, bro, that you don't even fucking know about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to compile 12 songs. So, you know what I mean?
Damn, my drops ain't working. Damn. Sad.
Yeah.
I thought I had that shit lined up, but
It's all good.
I had the air horns ready for you, bro.
Oh, we good, fam. We still gonna keep this shit riding.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And to pretend like all the fusion shit sounded good.
Oh, bro.
Or like all Miles Davis shit sounded good.
No, bro.
But and what I say is like, I feel like right now when it comes to hip hop, we are in the punk era of hip hop. Like, not all of the shit is necessarily supposed to sound good in the sense of like what you think about it as. Like it's about the message, and it's also about like kids just doing whatever the fuck they want against the establishment. And right now, like, the establishment is the actual establishment, but also the old heads too, who are like, this genre can only be this certain way,
right?
You know, so that's like with a Cardi, like, I might not fuck with it personally, but I understand its importance and the value of it. You know, because honestly, it's not for me; it's for the people who it's for. You know,
that's real, bro.
The people who identify with that message. Same thing with like grunge shit, like. You know, not all of that shit sounds good, like in the traditional way that you want to think about it. But what is the point of music? It's to convey meaning. It's to convey artistry. It's to convey a message, right?
Right.
And sometimes that message is, I don't give a fuck, or I want to sip some lean, or I'm going through mental health issues, or, you know, I'm going through shit with my family, and this is the only outlet that I have, you know?
Right. Don't listen to some Juice WRLD lyrics. Y'all gonna be out here like, oh my God, that guy was really sad.
Rest in peace to Juice WRLD.
R.I.P. Juice WRLD.
Rest in peace to Chick Corea, bro.
R.I.P. to Chick Corea.
R.I.P. Yeah, we got.
I swear to God,
on that.
boy, we gotta listen to
Come
me.
on, bro.
Look, bro, I swear to God, listen. I swear to God, bro. Like, I read that shit because I didn't get on Instagram that whole day. That day, the one point of my day that because I finished running errands and shit. The one point of the day I finally decided to get on Instagram, I was like, damn, Chick Corea is dead. I just sat there for like a good old 10 minutes trying to take it in. Like,
right.
Wow, this is worse than this. This is just like when Kobe Bryant died. You just can't accept it for real.
Right.
Man, I swear to God, yo.
There we go.
Hey, there we go. Did you see that shit where that girl? It was a TikTok post where this girl woke up from a 4-year coma.
No.
And it was like funny because it was like mad motherfucker. She's like made a TikTok where she's like, so just woke up from a 4-year coma. Tell me what I missed. The comments were ruthless.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was on that bitch like, let me tell you, period. COVID, Trump in office, out of office, impeached. It's just think about telling somebody that's been asleep for 4 years, bro.
That is crazy because I listened to a podcast today. It was about a guy who fell into a coma for a year. This was back in like the 1920s. He fell into a coma for a year, and then in the coma, he said that he was in another man's body from 2,000 years in the future. So apparently he was in this body because the man had died like of something, like an accident, and they brought him back to life like 2,000 years in the future. And he thinks that like possessed, like he like got into the guy's body, right? So in the coma, he's living in the future, bro. And he's like describing shit like, or he's witnessing shit like, you know, they have this advanced civilization. They're more about spirituality. Like it was a nuclear holocaust that happened, which caused people to value this over that. They got flying cars. And what's crazy about it is like, because usually people would be like, okay, whatever. But when he woke up and he started journaling his shit down that got published years after he died, he predicted a lot of shit that happened in between the 1920s to like right now. You know, the fact that like this was the 1920s, right? So he had mentioned a nuclear war, but they didn't have nuclear shit in the 1920s. It wasn't World War II yet where that shit like came as a scare. Right. And like flying cars, and he was describing stuff that sounded like an iPad or an iPhone, but just like the way future version of it. So it was like, damn, what is this?
Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, shit's real.
We know for a fact. It's me and you know for a fact this shit is real.
Listen, definitely.
We've been there.
Bro, you digs? Hey, also, you know, shout out to the fucking government finally releasing these UFO files in like, you know, what we got left? Like 150 days on a bitch? Like, listen.
Oh, release
Bro, they're releasing all the UFO files, I believe. I heard that somewhere.
Let me look that shit up.
But like, yeah, when I first heard it, they said they were going to release them in 180 days. I'm like, finally, motherfucker, like COVID happens. Y'all like, all right, I guess we tell people there's aliens alive, right?
Damn, that's crazy.
Crazy. You pull it up. crazy, ain't it?
Damn.
You know, look.
You can now explore the CIA's entire collection of UFO documents online.
What? Listen. Is it up there now or in 180 days? Yeah?
It's
like 150.
This is from the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Approximately 2,780 pages of CIA documents detailing the government's entities' findings on UFOs are now available for anyone to read and download.
Yep.
Oh, and that's just the CIA too. So maybe this like the Pentagon has some stuff that they're going to release in 180 days or whatever. But
that's about to be funny.
So wait, what do you think?
Oh, bro, everything I've always thought. I'm about to think. Listen. You fucking with okay. This is the other side spectrum. This is where the podcast gets a little weird. Mm-hmm. I want everybody to take a second and think. All right. How many Netflix specials have you seen where some form of apocalyptic type behavior, whether it be a sickness, a fucking like, you know, rapture, whatever, just comes upon motherfuckers, and you got the people that are in charge folding, the rich people trying to save themselves no matter if they're about to die and saying fuck everybody else, right? And then nobody really doing what the fuck they're supposed to do. Damn. All right. So I take that concept and look at how comparable a lot of these Netflix specials are to life, no matter the century that they're in, about how people handle this shit, right? And then on top of that, I want you to take a second and then look at society and how this shit moves out here, bro. It's like motherfuckers done died, got beat up, stripped from their families, bro, over talking and tarnished, over talking about, you know, just we're talking UFOs. You know what I'm saying? Mm. I know mad people that's got shitted on, and then it's just, you know what I mean. And now this shit's gonna be released to the world, so people can see those people weren't crazy this whole fucking time. Right. It's like weed getting legalized, bro. You got motherfuckers that did 40, 30 years off weed, bro. I know motherfuckers that were supposed to do life that got out of jail because when, you know what I mean, a lot of the weed stuff got legalized. It's that same shit. It's like, I don't know.
I think the biggest shit for me is like, because I'm still on the fence, as crazy as that might sound, but I feel like
until Tim sees the photo, I'm gonna be like,
no, but that's what I'm saying, because I don't want to look crazy when they actually come down here, because I want to say that, oh, I said I didn't know the whole time, but it's like when people are like, yeah, like 100 people saw the same shit, or like 30 people got abducted and they all report the same thing, but they live miles away from each other, but like within the same town. Like that is the scariest. It's not just one person, bruh, you know, like who's just like, yo, I mean, I'm on this UFO thing, which there are, and I feel like there's definitely a lot of fake shit out there, but like when it comes to like multiple people reporting on the same event,
bruh, it's like an issue in life. If multiple people say the same thing about you to your face, then maybe you should check yourself. Right. And maybe everybody's not crazy.
Yeah, man. If multiple people say that you play too many ghost notes,
then, you know, you might just be Bernard Purdy. It is what it is. Might just be too nice with it.
That's funny you brought up Carter Buford, bro, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm not on the Matthews train. I don't know what it is.
Dave, look, it's world music, y'all.
Right. Yeah, but
what
does that mean, though?
You want to know what world music means? This is something for y'all. World music means, motherfucker, you pick your favorite song out of their catalog, whether that be 2 or 4 of them out of the whole 200. And that's why you like the Dave Matthews Band. For me, it's number 14, brother. That is the best Dave Matthews song ever, low key. Number 14 is hard. Plus, that dude's son went to Berkeley, and we both had class with him.
Oh, did we? Don't say his name. But.
No. The saxophone player in that joint, the saxophone player that plays for Dave Matthews, his son went to Berkeley, and we had mad. I know I had mad classes with him.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that till later on.
Oh, okay. Is he was he like
Spanish?
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Dave Matthews is cool. But like
them trashy vocals.
Yeah, man, that's what it is for me. Like I mean, but here's the thing, you can't say like Prince wasn't the best vocalist.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't terrible, but
Prince is an entertainer.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the conversation I have with people, because when I talk about like Beyonce, for example, and I know that's a sacred territory.
I mean, bro, you know, I feel no ways. They can tarnish me after this interview on Beyonce.
What I'm saying is, though, like, you don't have to be the best vocalist to be considered one of the greatest artists of all time.
Nah.
You know, because there's a difference. Really, the only artist like who I could say her voice matched the echelon of her craft of like where or her career was like a Whitney Houston.
I feel you.
Where like her voice and her career and who she was as an entertainer was like all right here.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes somebody's voice might be right here, but them as an entertainer and the work ethic they put in is up here, you know? And that's not to say because I can't sing. So like I'm not,
Right,
but you know, it's like people are always like, oh, how come like Jasmine Sullivan can't be as big as Beyonce? I'm like, that's a different thing.
One, you don't have the support of Beyonce because like these motherfuckers, like as soon as they figured out how to curate this shit, they were like, all right, we're about to drop Destiny's Child. Fuck the mother, you know what I'm saying? We're about to sit here, stat and make you know, capitalize and cultivate this right here. You know what I'm saying? Because they see the potential and look what they made. They made an Amazon baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
A $1 billion situation here.
Yeah, it was an investment. And like Jasmine Sullivan's been around for a while. She's not new.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm always like, damn, if people like her, people like Lettucey, Layla Hathaway,
Bro,
if they had better songwriters, they would be on top.
More than better songwriters, I feel like more than better songwriters, I feel like they were just in more of the right situations. Like you gotta look at who Beyonce was probably fucking with at that time. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta look at who Aaliyah was fucking with. Aaliyah's fucking with R. Kelly and like, you know, Static Major and Jermaine Dupri and all these niggas at this time. You know,
have like geniuses. Like,
you know what I mean? Niggas who really curated the game. Let me tell y'all something. Most people don't respect Jermaine Dupri because they don't know what the fuck this man did.
Right.
Cause Jermaine Dupri wrote most of the tracks on Confessions. This nigga wrote Confessions.
Right.
Like,
yeah, people,
part 2. Like that is his story. That is his story, bro. Like
people only see the surface. Like, but when you realize, even in the music industry, like people who are not necessarily creators but know how to be A&Rs or know how to market the shit out of a record or know how to get you in those rooms, those are geniuses. Like those are the people that you need. And somebody like Beyonce learned all that shit. She's like, okay, and then
you know what I mean?
And
Those
she went to a
like,
different
boom.
level with it.
Right.
But am I gonna ask her to like, you know, sing fucking a cappella, like doing some crazy vocal gymnastics? No, but that's not where she fits, you know, and that's not all that she is.
I don't even think Beyonce is the craziest vocalist. Like we were saying before. It's like it's not even about that. It's like we just said. It's like being with the right people in the right rooms to curate the craziest ideas for what you're trying to do in your niche. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, like, you know what I mean? Curate, like Keisha Cole could never be Beyonce. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could have just never happened. Like, you know what I mean? For real, it just could have never happened. Like,
but I fuck with Keisha Cole.
I fuck with Keisha Cole on a whole like another level. You know what I'm saying? Because I come like that's my childhood.
That's
but
like my auntie. Like,
right, I'm dead. But I say that shit. No, not man. Shout out to Keisha. No disrespect. My homies are MD. But like, I say this shit to say like, it's just like it's different. It's a different clique, bro. Mm-hmm. It's a different fucking clique. It's like hanging out with Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? And then hanging out with fucking Master P. Now, who the fuck you think gonna create the correct thing and create something that's gonna change the world?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not give you a good song, something that's gonna change the fucking world.
Right. That's Master P.
Master P gonna help you he gonna put you on some rap snacks.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, nah. You know?
Bro. And it also depends on like what you want to, like, what is the goal? Because not everybody's goal is to be like a Beyonce. Some people just want to be able to tell their story and, you know, live off of their music and have a fan base. But like,
I feel like Sir's a good example of that.
Right.
Like, yeah, Sir's a really good example of that. Like that dude, like Sir's Breakfast Club interview really made me respect that dude on a whole nother like level as an artist, as a person, as, you know, a husband, as just a good general black man. You feel me? It's like I really felt his energy. I was like, because, you know, most of these cats get on these interviews and like, you know, whether it be Moneybagg Yo, Soulja Boy, or any of these other cats, bro, you know, Dame Dash, young or old, and these cats, it's like a flex thing. And it's like, I fuck with Sir because Sir was like, man, I didn't even see myself being famous. Like, you know, bro, I fucking was the mix recording engineer for fucking Tyrese for 10 years. Cause like,
right, he was always like the side, like he was just a dude, like the
just the chill dude. He's like,
yeah.
bro, I'm a nerd. He's like, bro, I'm just a real nigga. I'm a nerd. He's like, bro, I sit at the crib. He's like, he's married, full on wife and shit. Like, bro, that's another thing in this industry. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like another thing that's like a very important thing that a lot of people don't talk about is relationships and like how the energy affects your career and like, you know what I mean, how your growth goes and all that shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, the fact that my man can balance all that and still have a successful career or just even keep doors open for himself, you know what I mean?
Right. And that's why I respect the artists like Anderson .Paak too. Because his shit was a slow burn. You know, it wasn't like he blew up. And I feel like he understands that grind and even that like West Coast, you know, Bay Area or LA struggle of just like, you know, being in the trenches with the music shit and going on tours and playing for like 5 people in the room, you know. It wasn't like he was a SoundCloud blow up, you know.
Right.
People got hip to him maybe 2 years ago, but Breezy, Lovejoy, all that shit, and the Free Nationals, like they were just grinding like the whole time, and that's why I value that.
Bro, 100, and everybody else is wondering where that good soul sound come from. It's like, man, motherfucker, in the words of Ty Dolla $ign, it ain't happen overnight.
Right. And you could listen to artists and figure out who's studied their craft and who hasn't.
Like another artist that's dope, bro, that's coming up that I think people should fuck with. That every time I play him in a room, especially with women, they fuck with it. This dude named Down to Earth. Listen, that dude is hard. He's gonna be like the next like softcore weekend like type of situation because he's just got that sauce, man. It's like, and he produces and stuff, you know what I mean? Right. And it's like that soft, delicate sound. It's like you can make love to it, you can chill to it, you can ride in your car at 9 p.m. or later to it, like.
Man, and you're a producer as well, and I mean you're a drummer, a phenomenal one, and you're a phenomenal producer, and so that process, like, how do you navigate through that?
Man, I mean, shit for me, man. How should I say? Well, if I'm playing, okay, so if I'm producing for one, I mean, shoot, for me, I'm definitely not the Negro to start with the beat in general. Like, I've never been that dude unless I'm making like some simple like trap shit with 808s or whatever. But like for me, most of the part, like most of the time, I generally start with like melody or get a loop going. You know, sometimes I'll switch it up to like sometimes I get the loop with splice, make a whole like, you know, drums patterns to it and start dropping the audio and just like making patterns to it. And then I'll fucking like either pitch that melody and like make it like something crazy and flip it around and chop it up, or I'll just sit there and replace it with something else. Right. Because that's the crazy thing about that type of shit. Like, you can make one idea and then like make a whole another crazy ass idea just by pitching that, because the loop was generally there to help you create the drums anyway. Bam. So you'd have made some hardcore drums because you was fucking with that loop, and you put a whole nother melody to it and it's gonna be like bang. Right.
And that's a good topic too, because I feel like a lot of independent artists or people who are starting hip hop and, you know, or rapping, to understand sometimes what it takes to create a hit song. Like when you see these publishing credits and you see like the people who actually have points on the record, it'll be like 10, 15 people sometimes. Because especially when it comes to a beat, like let's say you don't even sample anything. Let's say you didn't sample anything, the beat was just created, right? You might have one person that created the melody, one person that flipped the shit, one person that put a beat on it, one person that changed that beat and played it in reverse, you know, one person that added a whole nother layer to it, right? So now you already got 4 or 5 people just on the beat alone with nobody actually singing on it, right? And or no extra vocals on it. And then if you decide to put a sample on it, that's like a whole nother situation right there.
You got to pay to get that cleared or get them percentage.
Right, but you'll have a lot of these beats, you'll have like 15, you know, or 5 to 10 people on one beat, you know. But and then you have these artists who have their production houses where they have producers who are paid to make beats catered towards to them. So you might have some beats that are super interactive where the hi-hat drops off at this part, or the hi-hat like articulates a certain part of like what they're rapping. And you can tell the difference between that versus just like a straight up beat that somebody's rapping on. You know?
Right. I feel that. I'm like, man, for me, with the whole like beat situation and like, you know, beat groups and stuff like that, man, I'm like, more than anything, man, the industry's fucked. You know? So never think shit is sweet, bro. Like, stop that. Don't nobody get out here, and I mean nobody get out here thinking anybody owe you shit. Nobody get out here thinking that like you about to, how should I say, like get up. Get your chance, get where you're just the only one winning on these singles, bro. It takes a fucking team to build this shit in most cases, which is what people don't know until they make it in there. And you know what I mean? It's like a car just ain't an engine and a fucking body, bro. The engine is like millions of pieces, basically, thousands of pieces. You know what I'm saying? The car is, you know what I mean? The gas pedal got to touch this, to touch that, to touch this, to go to the transmission, to do this. So it's the same way with this music industry shit, which nobody tells you. Like, these percentages, man, they be wild, they be whack, they be crazy, it be unfair. And you know, the realest thing as a producer, you be sitting there like, but bro, like, if I took this fucking beat away and your auto tune away, who are you?
Right.
No one. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like people got to realize, bro. And like, I've been watching a whole bunch of interviews, like with like, you know, shout out Carter Got Wings and like, you know what I'm saying? Ronnie J and a lot of these dope ass producers that do be doing these interviews and talking about this shit, because it's like, it's a lot of times, bro, you don't get credit, like a good amount of credit for certain shit, bro. But it's about the doors that it opens for you to keep create a continuous, like, you know what I mean, slew of revenue coming into you. It's like Carter Got Wings talked about some shit like that. Like, he was like, bro, my biggest song was with Jay-Z and Young Jeezy, bro, and I didn't get any percent on it.
Right.
And it was one of Jay-Z's biggest hits. He didn't get no percent on that shit.
Right.
Because the people sample who he used didn't want to share no credit with him or nothing, bro. And that's how shit goes. But he's like, bro, he's like, that shit was ass. I ain't gonna cap, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, 2% off of that record would have been, you know,
something.
You know what I mean? A mil, some crazy shit.
Right.
But he was just like, bro, I'm so glad, because everything else that shit curated for me, like being able to work with Drake and like all these other people, like Baby Keem, and just like, I don't know, you gotta look at the game like that, man. Be happy for every opportunity that God gives you, or just like, you know, that life gives you out here, man, because, you know, fuck it, man. When it comes down to this percentage and all that shit, man, it's fucked up. It is what it is. The industry is ugly, bro. They teach you all that, because, dude, I done the business classes. They tell you how this is the way you get that bread and all this other shit. But, bro, you be having to go through hell and back to make these motherfuckers understand who you is and where you coming from. So it's just like,
and that's the thing too. Like, you don't develop your career as an artist with the goal being to get a record deal. You know,
man,
because that's not sustainable.
You want distribution, that's
right?
It.
That distribution, yeah, that's another conversation
all
too.
you want.
But like, yeah, you don't. Why would you build? I think I think there are two types of artists, right? Ones where they see the one hit wonders, or they see somebody getting discovered on like SoundCloud or however they get discovered, you know, and then a record label gives them $10 million and blows them up for a second, and then you never hear about them again.
All right,
you know,
they're getting royalties off their one hit single.
Exactly. And then you have the artists who, you know, they're jaded because they've put in all of this work their whole life with the expectation of getting a record deal, but without seeing the bigger picture. Like, you are your own business, and it's easier said than done. I'm not gonna lie, and that's the thing too. You want to build a team around you who can help you do the things that you want to do. Sometimes it's a pain to let some of that shit go. Like, oh, you're gonna be the person who helps me with my album artwork. You're going to be the person who helps me produce this, because you want to do all of that shit on your own. But you start to elevate as a business person and as an artist when you're able to delegate. Like, you as the artist are the boss, and you supervise and refine everything under you to support what your vision is. You know?
Right.
And
because sometimes people just be telling you how to do it.
Right.
And it's like, but do you know?
Right. And like honing your craft too, like actually shedding. I don't care like what type of artist you are, whether you're a hip hop artist, a singer, whatever, like shed your craft, because if you can't perform live, first and foremost, it doesn't matter what you do online, because that shit is not going to translate.
Legit. Yeah. Don't be hopping up just because you saw another motherfucker kill it, being like, well, I can do that.
Right.
That's the wrong fucking energy to pull up with anyway. Like,
to be able to just be a rapper and a DJ on stage, and you feel comfortable doing that. One, you know, what performance value can you add with just that setup? Do you feel comfortable just being that, just one DJ and you rapping?
All right, hell no.
You know, or are you going to take the time, hire a band, maybe even like a drummer and a DJ and you? What? How does that? So these are things that you want to think about. Obviously, in the times we're in, live performances dead right now.
Duh.
But when it comes
Get
back,
your studio work up.
Get your studio work. Learn how to record. Learn how to mix your shit. Learn how to engineer it.
Yeah, like I feel like, and on some real shit, this pandemic has been beautiful, man, because I feel like I tell everybody this, bro. It's been a great time for me because I don't know if everybody else is taking full on, heat of this time and all that shit, because like, not a lot of people know how to be alone. Not a lot of people know how to spend all this free time because it's just too much for them. But for me, it's been beautiful for me to be able to like practice and record videos and learn how to mix my drums and learn how to like get better ideas for making beats and learning about like, video editing and cheap ways to like cut shit up and just doing different shit. Because bruh, you would be surprised who the fuck is watching. Like, and people love things that they can see, touch, and grab. Like, shout out to my people trying to just market and get themselves something better. Like, take that little gem, man. Take that free game, bro. Like, use this time to get yours, man, because it's just like ain't nobody gonna give it to you. And sitting there watching the next man, your hero, whatever you want to call it, like that shit's awesome. But use that shit as real inspiration. Don't just sit there and watch that shit and meet these people like, oh, you my hero. Like, do that shit and meet these people on some shit. Like, here's my shit. Thank you for teaching me how to do this, bro. Because blah 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 blah. Because they're gonna respect you 10,000 more times than you would if you was just over here fangirling. And then on top of that, bro, you can respect yourself more because you're going to sound better. You're going to get more out of your instrument, more out of your time, more out of your opportunity. Like, bro, I've watched mad shit turn out better for me, bro, just because I can show people what the fuck I can do. Right. You know what I mean? Legitimately.
Right. Damn.
On some real shit. Like, bro, you can do it. Like, bro, I done try to do the shit off of just having a degree and like, oh, I went to Berkeley and just talking game to different people. It's like, yeah, you'll get bread, but you'll reach a hat with that. You'll reach a cap with that shit, like a top, a limit. You know what I mean? That next level of marketing is showing people, man, all over the world what you can do. Because then they can put their money on that. People can put their money on LeBron and Kobe because the motherfuckers went hard their whole career,
right,
and showed it. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. That's real shit, man.
Yeah.
And now you're from Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Louisville, Kentucky, home of Breonna Taylor. Shout out where her killer's at.
Right. Damn.
Yeah, shout out. Still talking.
That's a whole nother topic too, bro.
Anytime it's my city, I gotta say that.
Right. Man.
It's gotta say that. People think that shit's sweet.
It's not. That affects people every day, man. And
right.
Rest in peace, rest in power to Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Kentucky, what is the music scene like?
Man, beautiful. It's dope because one, Nashville's right there, Chicago and St. Louis is right there, so it's a beautiful in between spot, and it's that Midwest sound. Everybody's very musical. It's like a lot of church there, Lexington up the street. Y'all know what Bryson Tiller talking about? Rolling to Louisville from Lexington, girl. That's mileage. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what we talking about. But like, it's beautiful, man. It's a lot of evolution in it. It's just a lot of dope people, man, that do dope things from there, man. And I feel like people have very beautiful visions on how they view this shit and how they portray it and bring it to the world. And I just think that that's a dope thing.
Do you feel like, obviously your musical foundation is from there, but when it comes to the ideas that you have now and how you execute those ideas, are they still heavily influenced from where you grew up or later in life, like where you went to school and even graduating and just being in New York? What is the biggest influence on your playing and your producing?
The biggest influence on my playing now is playing what's in my head, for real. And like, I play in a polyrhythmic, like very like double time type of way. So it's just like I'm very like robotic, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I can be solid as shit too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can come up over here, and play like I'm Rascal Flatts for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm playing on a David Bowie record and we can get this in. Right. But like, really just playing what's in my head, but also making a musical. Cause like me, I do sessions and I want to tour and stuff like that. So it's just like, if I'm doing those things, then, I'm going to try to play like that. You know what I'm saying? So take those approaches.
You want to plug your lessons?
I mean, shit, man. If anybody want to get a lesson from me, Pocket Pays. You feel me? On Instagram, Pocket Pays at Gmail. You know, because Pocket does pay, y'all. That's what keep my bills straight. You know, nobody pay me for the licks. And when I say, and also another thing is like when I say the stuff about like the playing like I'm on tour and then playing like I'm in a session, like it's just like if I'm on tour, man, you know what I mean? The way that those people be playing and like, you know,
it's very big.
It's very big, but it's energetic. You making them hits. You're being precise. You're being musical too, tasteful, and it's just like, you know, the swells and bells, all that shit. Like, man, really being on crisp with that shit. Like, that's a real thing, man.
So, as a drummer, right? Do you find that it's more fulfilling to like just kind of play in your own bubble? Or, you know, do you find other musicians who can kind of get on that, you know, wave too and play with you?
When you say like play in my own bubble, like, I mean,
like when you, in terms of executing your ideas in like a shed situation, do you find that more fulfilling, or playing with people, or playing the music and getting the money? Like, what fulfills you as an artist?
I mean, with me, what fulfills me with an artist is just destroying my job, like killing that shit, like killing it to the fullest capability that I can kill it, and like making whoever hired me or invited me or whatever the situation would be happy, and like making people feel like I didn't waste their time, like, and making myself feel like I didn't waste my fucking time, like, you know.
Right.
So yeah, for me, it's probably a lot of that going on. Like, I love being in musical settings and playing with people more than I do like shedding, because shedding is cool, but none of that shit gets you fucking paid. Like, granted, the little creative aspects that you might get from shedding are cool, but the best thing to do with that shit is you should shed the fucking music. Like, when I teach my students, I teach them the rudiments, I teach them a groove to the metronome, and then I give these motherfuckers mad songs, and I be like, play these songs, now play this over that song, now do this over that song, because it's just like, if you know how to play musically and phrase correctly, you can literally do whatever you want. That's why Chris Dave is so fucking phenomenal.
Bro, I was just about to bring him up, bro.
You know
Chris
what I mean?
Dave, yeah, because he's a type that could do both.
Bro.
But he is his own sound. Like Spank too. Like,
bro, shout out Spank, an innovator of fucking gospel music. Niggas think it's all Calvin Rogers and, you know what I'm saying, these other niggas. Fuck that, bro. It's them niggas too.
But shout out to Calvin Rogers.
Man,
let's not get into it.
Shout out to Calvin Rogers. Shout out to Calvin Rogers. But bro, people need to put some respect on my dog Spank's name, because that man, bro, where would y'all be at without Victory? Where would y'all be at without that whole album, that whole Ty Tribbett era, bro? This man, look, another thing. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
that's what you're very passionate about this. Because a lot of church can't get it fucked up, because it's like, bro, this man Calvin Rogers, and this is all G respect. Like, my man got all the classic records, like with, you know what I mean, Commission, all the Marvin Sapp shit, all the Fred Hammond shit. You know what I mean? Hella records, bro. Like, you know what I mean? His all music is timeless. But look at my man Spank. Y'all can't act like my man didn't do numbers. Like, my man, you know how hard it is to leave where you from, bro, and leave the church and go do another whole gig
and kill that shit
and murk that shit. Right. Like, bro, Lady Gaga holding your sticks on the cover of the drum joint. Like, bro, shout out to Spank. You feel me? Like,
yeah, bro,
crazy.
But I was just about to bring that. Like,
sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just about to bring that up. And like, for me, I admire Lil Jon Roberts too. Like,
oh, that's my OG. That's my dog.
He is tight.
Like, that's my actual dog. Like, I fuck with Lil Jon. I done took lessons. I paid my $100 for a lesson.
Right, that overcharged shit. Like, for the
I don't feel like I feel like, because bro, firmly look.
No, because I know like talented ass drummers who they charge like $200 and don't be doing shit.
And don't be doing shit.
Tell you to play paradiddles.
Bro, legitimately. That's why I be like, shout out to Lil Jon Roberts. When I first lesson and only lesson I took with my bro, bro taught me hella Fela Kuti shit off the rip. Gave me mad real advice for what the fuck I was. Yeah. Man, bro, and just in general, before I even took a lesson with this dude, I chopped it up with bro for like 2 years. Like, I met bro at NAMM, and we just chopped it up on some real shit.
Right.
Like, so he's a real person first and foremost.
Right.
And that's another thing, kids. Relationship is everything in this industry. You can't be out here introverted. You gotta be out here networking, talking to people, even if it's your fucking hero. Go over there, be cool. Don't be grabbing nuts, but be cool. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And that's like networking is important too, as much as people overuse that word. It is important because your talent, and it's unfortunate, but your talent can only get you so far. And that goes back to our Beyonce Jasmine Sullivan conversation. I know some phenomenal singers who can outsing most artists that y'all love today, but they sing in their basements, and you know what I mean. And they work a corporate job.
Yeah, she cold at home.
Right. Exactly.
At home.
So what does that mean though? Like, what's the point?
And there's somebody that's mediocre that's getting on. You want to know why? Because they're easy to fucking work with.
Right.
That's why.
Damn.
Bro. Legitimately, like, dude, I done been on so many different gigs where it's just like I'll get hired back on fucking 40 gigs,
right?
But once they get rid of the other motherfucker that had an attitude and they replace him, and then they see how chill it is without that person, they'd be like, damn,
and he might be better than you,
bro. He might be way better than me, but like,
never show up, don't go to practice.
But bro, when you just know how to work, man, that's why I say pocket pays, bro.
Right.
Like,
pocket pays.
Keeping it chill pays, man. Like laying the fuck back, like that shit pay off.
Right. But yeah, like a Lil John Roberts to me is like he's got that creativity, but like he knows how to work. And like the art, like drummers like him who are just they're sneaky with it, bro. Because they'll play on a bunch of shit you never heard of, right. Or like but you have heard of, but you didn't know it was them.
He's musical,
you know, and he's diverse too. Like, yeah, shout out to him.
Bro. Drummers. What about to make me text him right now? That's my look. Shout out Lil John Roberts. That's a real one. And bro, it's like, you know, he's big on teaching people to be musical. You know, and I feel like that's like skipping leg day for some of these kids out here. Like you got people out here that forget what shit is really about. It's like you trying to make them heads and them bodies shake out there. You feel me? And you got to make it like the record too. So it's adding you and all that. It's tough, but you know it's real, man.
Bro, most of the videos that like these drum companies be reposting are like trash. Like,
bruh,
like some of the shit that like Zildjian,
all them Zildjian factory shits, except Lenny.
It'll be like, yo, check out this cool like polyrhythmic paradiddle shit that is cool. Buy some Vic Firth sticks,
bro. That's how I feel about the Vic Firth double drum sessions. Every time I see those, I'll be like, bro, these cats are way colder than this. Like,
right.
It's like y'all were just like they were probably just excited for the email or some shit. Like,
right. Yeah.
For real. And that's no shade, bro. Everybody's out here killing, bro. I just feel like these brands need to fucking do better on how to do some of this shit. Like,
yeah. And
you know, direct people and let people be them more, because I feel like some of this shit that be on these, you know, on their little websites and like, you know, on YouTube and shit like that, it'd be cheating people because it's not giving them the full artist, man. You'll be over here looking at like, bro, Ronald Bruner is hard to me because Ronald Bruner is going to destroy every fucking video like Ronald Bruner, bro. Right. You got cats out here hopping on their like My Zildjian Day shit and that shit's trash, but you see them on a pasty ass, crusty ass phone video and they're destroying.
Right.
You know?
And you know, like I feel like academia and lessons and shit have its place and they're super important for like the, you know, what music is and like learning your craft. But I just get it's weird when people just hop right into that and they've never played a gig in their lives, but they're like starting the drum YouTube account to teach people how to play drums. But it's like you never have you played a show before, you know? Like,
but you know, I don't knock that shit too, because see, this is my thing. If some shit's working for you, I ain't gonna knock you, fam. I'm never gonna hate the hustler. You know what I'm saying? Right. What they say, hate the player, not the game, cousin. But like with shit like that, I don't knock that shit because I'm just like, hey, bro, you know, I know motherfuckers that had Pearl endorsements and Zildjian endorsements back when I was in high school 10 fucking years ago just because their mouthpiece was correct. You feel me? They weren't even on the biggest tour. Their mouthpiece was correct and they were on certain tours. You know? And that shit got them everything. So, you know, I'm not going to knock a person that's, you know, doing that shit. But at the same time, if you a good one, if you're a real one and you're a good teacher and all that shit and you out here putting in the work and shit like that, bro, you know what the fuck you need. You know. Like, I go in on my students when it comes to, like, bro, I teach my students all their rudiments, grooves, metronomes, metronomic marking, subdivisions, and fucking grooves, bro. All soul grooves.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because that shit translates into everything.
Shout out to Soul Grooves. Shout out to Rudiments. Shout out to all that shit.
All that shit sounds like a lot, but I was like, it's really, you know how it be two things in one. You know how it is. I'm like,
yeah. I like when I taught, because I taught in Boston for 3 years. I taught kids to help me like support myself while I was going to school. And I would split it up. Like it would be like the first half would be super technical, and then the second half I would just have them play the music.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is how you're gonna learn. Like you got to play the music. Like, so we would do rudiments. We would do like applications, like stickings, all that shit. And then the second half, I'm like, okay, here's a Jill Scott tune, like just groove. Living my life. Like how long can you play that? And these 5-year-old kids. And you know what? During recital time, their parents see them play.
And they're lit.
Woo!
And they are lit. That's my fucking son. Lit.
That's my son.
That's why I be lit about that shit, bro. Trust me. Dude, I'm trying to tell you, I was looking at an old video of, I did this thing at this church, like, over the summer, like, 3 years ago. And like, man, I was just teaching like a whole bunch of little girls how to play drums, bro. And I swear for everything, bro, they was over there destroying it. I was just looking back at the videos, like, look at these little girls over here playing calypsos. Cause I'll make them play calypsos one after each other.
Right.
Whole time. Cause I'll be teaching like 3 or 4 of them at once. And I'd be like, all right, we're going to learn this groove, bobbity boop. You go. I'm having my whole, Kim Plainfield Jazz Jock Lessons lab.
Jazz Jock Lessons lab. All right. So towards the end, I like to do a little music business analytics, just reading certain articles and trying to get opinions on it. Today, we're going to talk about New York arenas reopening at 10% capacity. Here's what is required of fans. So New York City's 2 major arenas are preparing to reopen next week for sporting events. Following news that Governor Andrew Cuomo is allowing arenas and stadiums to reopen across the state for crowds limited to 10% of the building's overall capacity. Quote, the truth is we cannot stay closed until everyone is vaccinated. The economic, psychological, emotional costs would be incredible. Bro, we're month what?
I just want to know how much are these tickets going to cost?
Bro. It's like outrageous,
bruh. This man just said a 10%. Motherfucker, only famous people gonna be able to go.
Right.
Like I'm be investing on a ticket just so I can meet J-Lo and shoot my shot. Like
all guests will be screened via temperature check and must register below 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit for entry.
See, that's some fuck shit. What is this, online church?
Right. They must also wear face masks at all times. Blah blah blah. Eating, drinking at their seats.
I don't know.
All in venue purchases will be 100% cashless. Yada yada. But yeah, that's.
Wait, what is that? That's some bullshit. That's that fine print, y'all. That's that.
Yo.
That's that. This drug might kill you on the low,
right?
But
that's that.
It'll stop your HIV. Like
no, that's like, girl, I only brought cash. Can I like cash app you later and then you go?
Hell no.
Yeah. Yeah, man. For me, the thing that sticks out is the fact that it's opening the sporting events first, because I would have thought that throughout this entire pandemic, when it came to people's mental health, music and artistic live events are something that we would value finally and like be like, hey, this needs recognition, this needs federal support. But for, sporting events to be the priority at 10% capacity, I think says something.
I mean, on some real shit, if we're talking business out here, I feel like most states, especially like states that have like a sports situation going on, I feel like there are always going to be special deals between auto, basically cars, and sports, because I feel like both of those two things, which most people don't know, support a lot of states. Like on some real shit. I want y'all to take a second to think about that. Like auto and sports.
Oh, like Kentucky Derby shit.
Bro, auto and sport. Like think about this. Like there's a Toyota dealership in most states, right? Bro, I bet you $5 they got like a whole situation and deal, you know what I'm saying, on an amount of cars they can sell. That's why like certain cities and stuff like that have like regulations and shit like that for like cars and like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, like your car has to move like this and has to pass this inspection. Like, bro, all that stuff is a play for it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because, bro, the state gets a mean cut out of that shit because there's a lot of tax breaks on stuff like that, bro. And there's probably mad breaks they get off of these sports and shits like that too. It's like, bro, think about college sports.
Yeah.
I want y'all to take a second to think about this. You know how many motherfuckers be tuning in, used to tune into college sports back in the day? Like, you know what I mean? Road tie and all that shit, bro. Why the fuck are all these coaches getting all this bread and the college getting all this bread and these students ain't getting shit? You feel me? But they're getting you all this bread though.
That's facts.
That's the revenue.
I've never heard one good argument for not paying players in college. It just doesn't make sense,
bro. Because it's like presidency. It's like a normal person trying to talk to somebody about being in office in corporate, and I mean not corporate, but being in office and like, you know, motherfucker, you can't tell me about this. It's beyond you, because it really is. Right. It's a lot of shit that people don't it's a little in between shit that people don't fucking understand out here, because like this shit is deeper.
Right.
And people are gonna know.
Should a college football coach be making more than the president of the United States?
No, not at all. A college football coach,
they make like
they need to be starting funds for these motherfuckers. No, these motherfuckers, bro. Think about how much, like, bro. Some of these colleges, bro, that are super heavy in the sports, like Florida State, bro. Some of these motherfuckers make more money than these people that fucking own these NBA, that coach these NBA teams. Because it's just bigger than that. You feel me?
Right.
Like, Florida don't have no fucking what basketball team does Florida have that's like an actual main, like, not non-college Okay, they don't. Florida has that fucking football team, the Florida Gators, though. Right. And you can be out here in New York and buy a Florida Gators sweatshirt.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm over here like, you telling me that ain't bringing that state some money and recognition?
Nah. But to your point about the venues, it goes on to read, with only about 2,000 tickets available per game, both MSG and Barclays will give priority to season ticket holders and suite members.
Bro, I'm sorry. All this shit is redundant and retarded. Like, motherfucker, how a month ago y'all gonna sit here and close fine dining once again, like inside dining? Y'all gonna close that shit, and then a month fucking later with some vaccines that ain't even 100% solid, because you still gotta wear a mask after you get your vaccine, people, and you can still get sick, people. Right. You feel me? But you know, it's supposed to be cool to just, like, you know, go to the basketball game. It's like, bruh, I don't know, but that's how I also feel. Like, I mean, bro, we could talk about this shit and say this shit with this shit, but I mean, bro, look at fucking Atlanta and other places. Right. Like,
well, it's almost like people are living in two different worlds. Like, I have friends in New York who haven't been out ever, like, in this past year, and they're recluses, and friends in Canada too, and also people in Texas and people in Atlanta who, like, basically they just put on a mask. That's really the only difference, if that. Right. You know. And so it's like we're living in two different realities. So how do we reconcile that?
Man. I mean, shit. I don't feel like we do. I feel like we just try to take everything a step at a time, man, and try to, like, do what you think is right, because, hey, man, you follow your heart, you following everything, man. That's your subconscious. That's just more than the world could ever explain. It's energy.
That's a good way to end it. On that note, thank you for tuning in to the BarOne podcast. Check us out. Link in the description for everything I mentioned. Follow Pocket Page. Check out my bro Jock, one of my good friends, y'all. All right, that's it.
Yes, sir.